Hello guys and welcome to the January vlog. I think today is the 8th of January. Either way, it's a Saturday, so I'm starting the vlog today and I thought I would start by opening a package that got delivered yesterday. I know what's in this because it's all branded Hachette, so I know it's my books for the Daisy Dalrymple series. I'm trying to remember my last vlog and if it was the one that was actually up. No, so my reading vlog, I spoke about these books and spoke about the fact that I'd ordered some more in the series, and this is the package. This is what it's in. So I look forward to putting this on my bookshelf. Look at this flying, oh, okay. I did a reading vlog like over the New Year kind of period up until the beginning of this month. I haven't edited it yet and I'm not really sure if it will go up. But in that I talk about my new bookshelf. But obviously I'm going to have tons of these books, so I'm excited to have them all sit together. I can't remember the order of these books, but I ordered 5 of them. Just all the next ones in the series. Actually, I think this is the next one, Murder on the Flying Scotsman, and then there are 4 more here. Now, in terms of covers, I love this one. I absolutely love this cover. This cover is wonderful. It just reminds me of like the American Natural History Museum. I think that's what it's called. I have actually been there before. The one in New York. But I don't know why it just reminds me of that. It could also be like Kelvin Grove, which is in Glasgow. But you know, any museum which has like dinosaur bones in it. But I just love it with the woman standing at the front and the blue background. Compared to like all the other covers, which are just kind of normal to me. I never look at them and think, wow. That one really stood out. They obviously all have a theme with that sort of like woman of a certain time period with her hair. In terms of books that I am currently reading, I am reading The Children on the Hill at the moment by Jennifer McMahon. This is a book club pick, so that's why I'm reading it. I don't know what else I was going to say. I'm on page 214 now, and I'm actually really enjoying this book. I have spoiled it for myself, sadly. I'm one of those people, right? I really need to know what's happened, like, and then I'm happy to go through and read the story. I don't like suspense, thrillers, stuff like that, but that's not the reason why I skipped ahead to this in this book. And in fairness, I have done it for a couple of books in the past, and I don't think I ever said that, but this one I thought I was going to be like really clever about it, because part of this book, so this book is about a girl named Violet, and then later she changes her name to Lizzie Shelley, and yes, she is like obsessed with Frankenstein when she's growing up, and her brother Eric live in like some old house, I suppose, next to a facility for mentally ill people, and the Gran is the like director there. They are homeschooled, they don't play with any other children or things like that, and they have this club between them, the kids, which is called like the Monsters Club or something, and they keep this book and then, you know, they hunt monsters and stuff like that. So the book is told through like Violet when she's younger, and then like present day Shelley in 2019, who is the host of a podcast called Monsters Among Us. And in between those chapters of going back and forth, there is also newspaper reports, or rather, yeah, newspaper reports on like the incident that happened at their house. And so what I did was flick through the book to read the newspaper sort of incident reports about this, because in the present day bit, the character Lizzie says that the reporter got so much wrong. So I'm like, well, I can flick through and read that, and I can know that some of it is a bit misleading and it's not true. However, I read some bits and I was just like, oh right, I did not see that coming, that's actually really clever. And I think had I carried on reading it, I would have seen that. It hasn't spoiled the experience for me, but it does make the book more interesting for me. I'm really liking this. This is not a book I would have heard of. This is not a book I would have picked up at all. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've not read Frankenstein, so like I can't really comment on the comparison and things like that, but there is a few things happening in here at the part that I've reached, you know, and things that Violet has discovered about her Gran. There's, yeah, the vibes are not great. It's giving, what's that guy? Enoch Powell? It's giving those vibes, but not like in the racist way, but more in the eugenics way. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying before though. But just saying that I'm enjoying this book a lot. Oh yeah, I was talking about the comparison of Frankenstein. Yeah, I can't compare that. But yeah, I think I'll finish this I'll probably finish this by Sunday, and book club is on Friday. And I'm so glad I'm enjoying this one, because the other one we read was Bunny, and I absolutely did not like that book. I just did not like it at all. So I'm very grateful that I liked this one. But yeah, that's me for today. I am off to the Iron Brew Carnival, which is like an indoor carnival for children. But it's just something I wanted to do, so that's how I'm spending my Saturday. I will check in with you later, probably when I finish The Children on the Hill, and then we can think about what other books I'm going to read for January. Hello. I don't know if I came back when I had finished reading The Children on the Hill, but I finished reading it. I actually really enjoyed it. It had many like little twists and turns that for me just made the book riveting. I liked it so much more than I initially expected to like it, and I think I'm learning about myself in my reading. That always makes me enjoy a book a lot more, or at least makes me give it a higher rating, because I'm like, if I go into it thinking this is going to be a very average, boring book, and then it's not, I'm like, hey, you get 10 stars. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars because there were just little things that I was like, I'm not sure how that works out in the end. But I liked it. It was like, you know, it's thriller, horror, but it has a very grounded in reality ending. And I kind of like that. I like that there was no supernatural at the end, because if it was supernatural, I would have literally just given it like 2 stars or something. So that was a book club pick, and we will be discussing that on Friday. So yesterday I started reading, yesterday or the day before? Anywho, I started reading Murder on the Flying Scotsman. This is the fourth book in the Daisy Dalrymple mystery, and this is very much giving Murder on the Orient Express vibes. It is set on a train. It's set on the Flying Scotsman, so a train from London to Scotland. In this case, it's going to Edinburgh. I don't know if that's where the Flying if this is like a traditional route the Flying Scotsman does. I'm not a train geek. I literally don't get. Oh, speaking of though, I have booked tickets to go on the Jacobite steam train. One of the things I wanted to do this year, so at the end of last year, I started a sort of like on my phone notes folder of priorities for like 2023, just like things I really wanted to do that somehow I'm always putting off in some way, shape or form, and then halfway through the year I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to do those things. And one of those was to see like the train. It really was just like see the train, go to the area. Like obviously people stand there like a geek, but you can obviously ride on the train as well, and it's like, why not make a day trip of it? So it starts at Fort Williams and ends in a place called Malay, I believe. And we decided to just go on the train, and I think standard is 60 and then first class was like 90, and it's just like, okay, I was going to say it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's not a once in a lifetime opportunity. Obviously you can go on the train whenever you want, but I was just like, I ain't ever going to go on that train again. So I'm just going to go first class, make it a nice experience. So yeah, we're doing that in June, I believe. So that's quite nice, but yeah, steam train. I was saying something about steam trains and being like, I've never been on like a steam train or something. It's like, well, why would I go on a steam train? Like, I'm not being funny. Like, I lived in London for the majority of my life, where like public transport is not steam trains. It's like, this is in the fucking 1800s, you know? But anyway, so I'm excited for that anyway. But yeah, so obviously we'll go to the place where you can view the trains, but then it'll be nice to like actually be on the Harry Potter train. So back to this. What page am I on? I'm on page 149 now. And yeah, it's giving Murder on the Orient Express vibes, because this takes place, majority is taking place on a train. Now we're in the halfway through and they've all been moved to a hotel. But someone gets murdered on a train. The basic premise of the story is there's a very rich old man who lives in Scotland. He is like on his deathbed, and he has a brother and he has a sister. The sister is deceased, and the sister's husband is deceased, and I believe like then, yeah, the sister has like 3 kids or something like that, and one of them is a male. The very rich man, he's on his deathbed, and so the next person to inherit would be his brother, and his brother is also like on this train and also very old, and like, you know, he could die anytime soon. So the whole family is travelling up to Scotland because he has invited them all up, and throughout the train journey you're just getting to know the family. A lot of them come and see Daisy, because I don't think I've mentioned this in any of my other videos, but people always seem to just confide in Daisy. So she is the sort of focal point that we find out all the information from, because people just come to her and just start talking. So yeah, a murder occurs on the train. She's also got a stowaway with her. Does it stay here? Yeah, it's a stowaway, which is Belinda, who is the daughter of the detective, Chief Inspector Alec, who is Daisy's beau. So yeah, there's a lot going on. She's dealing with Belinda, this whole family drama and stuff like that, and then the man passes away on the train, and they're basically like, which one of you killed him? Like, which one of you killed him? And it's an interesting one because people are like, why would anyone kill him? Because actually the brother, the one that summoned them all to Scotland, he's not actually dead yet. So now it's like someone's wiped this guy out of line so that actually someone else could inherit. So obviously all the suspicion falls to the person who would inherit when the big dog died. I don't know if I explained that properly, but yeah, so far it is just a lot of just like whodunit. It feels very, like, of all the books that I've read in this series, this feels very Agatha Christie-ish. Like, it feels like a direct, like, whoop, we're just going to pick this up and, like, copy it. I don't know when this was written, but I'm willing to bet it was written after Murder on the Orient Express. But yeah, it's not bad. It's in keeping with how everything else is written. I'm liking the characters, I'm enjoying Daisy. Yeah, I'm enjoying the book as I seem to enjoy these books. So the next book that I'm going to pick up in terms of my fiction book is this. I've decided to put The Rights of a Reader aside for a little bit because I really want to focus on reading this. Everyone, so it is the beginning of February now. I believe it's the 2nd or the 3rd. I think it's the 2nd of Feb, and I never really got around to finishing this vlog after the clip that you would have just seen. So yeah, I think I was busy, and then there was a fire in our building 2 weeks ago, and I think that just disrupted everything because there was just like other things I had to do for work, and then like obviously that and I hadn't really been reading that much. So in January I ended up finishing 5 books, 4 print books, and then 1 audio book. So I'd spoken about The Children on the Hill earlier in the video, and that was one from my book club. I ended up giving that 4 stars. I really actually enjoyed that book. It was a mixed bag for people in the book club, but for me, I found the twist in it really nice. I say nice, like not nice, but I found them like, I said how I'd read ahead a little bit, but like that didn't really help me because whilst that revealed something, it wasn't the actual like truth. So it actually didn't spoil that much for me, but it had some really good like plot twists and things like that, and I just thought it was really well paced, and it was just different from what I usually read, so I actually enjoyed that sort of change of like genre. So yeah, 4 stars for me from that one. And then I mentioned that I was starting this. I have started this. I'm now on page 102. I actually was on page like 90 something just yesterday, and I picked this up again to start reading. I'm really liking this. It very much feels like to me the foundation for that course I spoke about that has like loads of shadow work, so it's nice to sort of see this one because I feel like this has a bit more of a deeper dive because it's a book solely focused on that. It is an interesting book because I wasn't expecting to read about like not liking black people in this book. That might be a bit more of a sweeping statement, but there is a bit in here where she gets really aggravated by this black woman, and then I don't know what the shadow word that she says is, or what the phrase that she says, but she basically, like, you know, in her head I suppose calls this woman like a black bitch, and I was just like, I wasn't expecting to be reading that in this book. And then for her it's about confronting that, like, well, why do you think that? And it's about like being like, I think, so then she has to keep saying the words to herself like, I'm a racist, I'm a racist, I'm a racist, and then like sort of figuring out like not how to come to grips with that sounds so stupid, but like figuring out where that comes from and like why she feels like that about that woman. So yeah, I was not expecting to read that, I'm not gonna lie, but otherwise yeah, the book is really good. I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know when this book was released. When was it released? Because I'm not sure if this is the original edition. Okay, so first published in 1998. No, 1998. I'm just like, that's kind of brave for you to put that in that book. But you know, I guess part of this is her outing her shadow. So you out all the bad things about yourself in order to like integrate them and then change them. whatever. So yeah, it's been quite helpful in that sense. It has like exercises in here, so at the end of each chapter there are these exercises that you can do, which do seem really good. But at the moment, because I'm doing like the program that I'm doing and it has like journal prompts and stuff like that, I just don't want to like mix the two up or anything like that. So I'm enjoying that so far. So in terms of other books that I have read, I think this covers 4, because what's so yeah, I read Becoming the One, which I already finished. Yeah, The Children on the Hill, and these 2. Cool. So actually, what? No, the other one was the other book. Okay, I know I got confused because I just finished reading this one yesterday, but I was reading it in Jan. So I was talking about this in the earlier clips. I don't know if I'm going to do a January like book wrap up. But yes, I finished this. I ended up giving this 2.5 stars, and then I also, was this one before? This was after it. And I ended up giving this one 3 stars. This one, like I said, I finished yesterday, and I ended up giving this 2.5 stars. I'm kind of bored of the series now. But in terms of these 2, fairly quick resolve. I thought it was just a bit too, like I said, I feel like it was just like a bit of a spin-off of Murder on the Orient Express. But the way the resolve and everything came at the end, I was just like, this is just like super quick and just like not that interesting. This one had a bit more to it. Like, I will give Carola, yeah, her props. I think the situations that she has her character Daisy and Alec in all really vary. I think this is the 5th book that I've read so far, and they've been so different. So this is like something to do with like a kidnapping of like an American, well, I think her dad's just really rich, and her dad are in the UK. It's something to do with motor cars. So that's like that scenario. So it's a kidnapping and all those sorts of things. This one is obviously a murder that takes place on a train. This one is about like boating. So it's about like guys rowing in Oxford or Cambridge. I think it is actually Oxford in this one. So they are very different scenarios, which I do like. I think she has like 22 books out, so it'd be interesting to see like if any of them repeat. But in terms of the series, I don't know that it's anything weighing on me in terms of the characters or anything like that, because alongside these mysteries, we're having the development of Alec and Daisy's love story. So in the beginning, they meet just purely by chance, and now, like, you know, Daisy is sort of still doing her meddling in terms of everywhere she goes, somehow there rocks up to be like a dead body, and Alec is in some way, shape or form called to help. And so in one of these, they end up basically getting engaged, which is very sweet. So now, like, yeah, instead of just courting each other and just kind of, you know, dancing around each other and being like, oh, does she like me, does she not? They are, yeah, due to be married, which is very lovely. I'm going to leave this video here, but what I will do, and feel free to not watch if it's not your cup of tea, is insert some of the footage from the fire. Obviously I'm fine, I'm sat here talking, but yeah, this all took place around like 3 AM on a Friday, and it was just a bit of a surreal thing to happen. And it's one of those things that makes you like obviously put into action any sort of things that you've been taught about fire. And when the fire happened, I will say the scariest part of it really was being like, is my cat going to make it out? Because obviously once smoke started pouring into the flat, like obviously we could go out, we could stick our head out the windows, we have a balcony, but it was like my cat was so scared that I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get her into this cat carrier. She was just hiding, and anytime I went to get her she would run away, and it was just like, oh. But eventually we had to, you know, just prepare for this mission, and we got her into the cat carrier and had her outside. So yeah, but otherwise we're all fine. No one was seriously injured. As they say with fire as well, I think like mostly the injuries that you sustain, or if anyone's injured and things like that, isn't usually from the fire itself, it's from like other things, and in this case it was, but no one died as a result of the fire, which is really good. And yeah, I will just share some of the videos and whatnot, and I will catch you in my February reading vlog, which I hope will contain a bit more footage of other things. I will try and remember that I want to put things in these vlogs and then I need to actually film them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in another one. Bye!